Greetings of the day. Dear students and participants, kindly mute yourself. Put your videos on off. Good morning, one and all present here. I'm Professor Cheryl Albert Anthony, your host. I welcome you to the Master Class webinar on Youth Education and Mental Health for Modern Minds, organized by East Point College of Engineering and Technology. The Ministry of Education has systematically planned events under the banner of 75th Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, which initiates Youth at 75 and mental health. Mental health has been a topic of research and discussion since decades. Creating awareness necessitates such programs. The primary objective of this program is well-being of all individuals, catering to all psychosocial needs of students and faculty members, identification, prevention, sensitization, and redefining the roles of stakeholders. For today's webinar, we have Dr. C.R. Chandrasekhar as the resource person. I welcome you, sir. Dr. C.R. Chandrasekhar is called as People's Psychiatrist. He is a former Deputy Medical Superintendent, Senior Professor of Psychiatry, NIMHANS. He's an author, he's an educationist, and whatnot. He has many more feathers to his cap. He has served people for more than 45 years and retired from NIMHANS in 2013. He has treated 50,000 patients free of cost. 30,000, he has organized 30,000 lectures and discourse on health. He has trained 20,000 lay counselors. He has donated one dementia care center, NIMHANS. He is the author of 1,200 articles in periodicals and magazines, 280 books in Kannada on health and ill health is issued by him. He has written 30 books in English on health and ill health again. Not only this, he's got 60 plus awards and it is still counting. 2020, he received honorary fellowship of Karnataka Society and Technology Academy. 2020 Lifetime Achievement Award from Karnataka Science and Technology Academy in Science Communication in Kannada. Dr. Anupama Niranjana Award for Kannada Medical Science Literature, Government of Karnataka. 2019 Times of India Health Excellence Award. 1980 and 2003 Karnataka Sahitya Academy Award. 1993 Dr. B.C. Roy Award by IMA Bangalore. 2001 UGC Award. 2002 National Award by Government of India. 2010 Rajyotsava Award by Government of Karnataka. 2011 Manava Ratna Award, Eminent Psychiatrist Award by Indian Psychiatric Society South Zone, Bala Vikasa Academy Temperance Board Award, Government of Karnataka. Sir, and we can go on. We are humbled with your presence. At this hour, I remember our founder, Chairman late, Dr. S.M. Venkatpati sir, and in absentia, I welcome our Honorable Chairperson, Srimati Rama Devi BL, CEOs, Shri S.V. Pramod Gowda and Shri S.V. Rajiv Gowda, Shri Peter Francis, Secretary, MG Charitable Trust, Dr. S.R. Shankapal, Executive Director. I cordially invite Dr. T.K. Satish, Principal of College of Engineering and Technology, principals of all the colleges of East Point Group of Institutions, head of the institutions, heads of the department, faculty members, and students. Sir, it's your time now, Dr. CRC. I hand over. Yes, the time to you, sir. Thank you, sir. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Put up the slides. First slide, please. First slide. I'm very happy to talk to all the students of the same institution. Adolescents' health, both physical fitness, mental fitness, and social fitness. Very, very essential for students to complete their career, take up life, which is very challenging, and then achieve something in their life, live happily as well as live healthy. Can I have the first slide, please? Can I put out the first slide?
Can you share the slide?
The previous one, previous one. The first slide. This is the third slide. Yeah. So I will cover the growth and developmental issues during adolescent period because in the engineering college, majority of students will be between 17 to 20, 21. And so what are the issues which are involved? Next slide. Next slide, please. Move the slide. Next slide. So the physical growth. All of you should know that during 17 to 2021, there is a last phase of physical development and the maximum growth as decided by genes will take place and every boy or a girl during this phase worried about their physical appearance and physical growth. The various hormones, the growth hormone, the testosterone hormone in male, estrogen and progesterone hormones in female, and thyroid hormone in both, they decide the height, the weight, and sexual features. So, as teachers, identify those students who are having either problems with their height, weight, either low weight or more weight, then many students worry about their secondary sexual features, mustache, and that is the hairs on the face, the girth of the muscle, and now people go to gym to have six-pack body, eight-pack body, and the female students are worried about their sexual appearance and sexual attractiveness. It occurs in both, and they do develop a lot of inferiority feelings comparing themselves with others. So I am less tall, my friends are all tall people, or I am very thin or obese, my friends are having adequate weight. So at this stage, the students need medical attention as well as advice. So please go to a medical practitioner or to a hormone specialist and find out whether there are any deficiency as far as hormones are concerned. Now, a lot of girl students are developing PCOD, polycystic ovarian disease, where their menstrual cycle becomes irregular, they put on weight, hairs appear on the face, and the skin becomes dry, and menstrual cycle irregularities. Whereas if testosterone level is low, then male sexual characteristics will be less, and the person may have difficulty in accepting oneself and then develop severe inferiority feelings. So instead of worrying about their physical fitness or physical growth or over expectations about their physical body, they should have a medical consultation, find out whether there are any deficiencies about growth hormone, testosterone hormone, estrogen, progesterone hormones, thyroid hormone, and it has to be corrected. Next slide. Next slide, please. Move the slide, please. Can you hear me? Move the slide. Hello? Hello? Move the slide, please. So, what are the factors which influence the physical growth? So, students should look into what they eat, how much they eat, and what they should not eat, because food is the one which is required for physical growth, multiplication of cells. So, one should take more fruits, vegetables, grains, and of course, if you are non-vegetarian, limited fish and meat. And please, for heaven's sake, avoid junk foods. Because nowadays, go to any college canteen or see what adolescent boys and girls love to eat outside is junk foods. All fried foods, which are very tasty, lot of oil, lot of mirchi and masala and spices. So junk foods, as WHO has declared, it's just poison. They add lot of chemicals to the junk foods and which make these items very tasty. And the children and adolescent boys and girls love to eat junk foods. Over the period of time, they damage your liver, damage various parts of the body, including nervous system. So I request all the youngsters to eat good food where minimum 2 to 3 fruits a day, 2 to 3 raw vegetables a day, and lot of grains for vegetarians which contain protein. Then exercise is a must. So many students now they get hooked to mobile, hooked to internet, hardly move, hardly have any physical exercise. Every day spend an hour walking, jogging, swimming, cycling, and field games. Because unless you exercise, the 5 liters of blood you have in the body will not get circulated throughout the body, especially the brain. Brain cells are very sensitive. Every second, they need glucose, they need oxygen, and they need other micronutrients. So, to improve the blood circulation, one has to do physical exercise by walking, jogging, swimming, cycling, and field games. Better 2 times a day, morning and as well as evening or before you take food, do these physical movements. Of course, genetic factors cannot be corrected because we have 20,000 genes which direct our physical features and mental features. So genes come from the father side, genes come from the mother side, and genetic engineering is not possible. So we have to accept the genetic factors which operate in our whether your height or your other features. Then environment, of course, we should thank COVID for bringing the awareness of how we should be clean, both personal hygiene and environmental hygiene. So there should not be any dampness, there should not be any dust and other unwanted materials in the environment. keep your environment as clean as possible. The living room, the bedroom, the toilets, and the kitchen clean, and the college environment should be also clean. A lot of greenery should be there so that you can get fresh air. Next slide, please. So the intellectual growth. So we need intelligence where we think, we learn, we keep information in our memory storage and use it appropriately. And one should know that we fall into three categories. The average IQ students, 84 to 110, below average IQ students, 15%, and above average IQ students, 111 plus. Plus, general knowledge and specific knowledge are also equally important. And the social quotient, how the social skills, communication skills, and other issues where we have to adjust to the environment, adjust to a lot of people of different kind. So, above average students have no difficulty in managing the various subjects, 60 plus subjects in engineering course. The average IQ as well as below average IQ need specific attention as well as help from the teachers. Because I went to Reva University 3 days ago, teachers are complaining that all the students depend on mobile, Google, and they don't listen to us. I told them, unless you also give information only, then they prefer Google. Whereas the teachers should help these students who are below average IQ or average IQ to understand the subject and also how to analyze the information given either in the classroom or collected through Google and how to apply it. So application is very important because many students after graduation fail in the interview because they don't know the application part of the knowledge. They expect exam questions in the interviews, but in interview they don't ask exam questions. So the general knowledge about the place, about the system, about the society, and the specific knowledge are equally important. So getting a degree now it's comparatively easy, whereas getting the knowledge is more important. So the students should give more attention to improve their knowledge, understand the subject, and then expect to do well in the life. Next slide, please. So learning is a process. Memory is a process. Our brain is not a camera. Brain is not a tape recorder. Just press a button, information saved. Press another button, the information is revealed. So please understand that learning takes place in three stages: registration, recording, and recall. Registration focusing is very important. This is the most common complaint of all the teachers. Go to any college, they say our students have no focus. They get distracted very easily because there are many distractions now. Your mobiles, your internet, your friends, and the environment. So a lot of distractions are there for the students, both in the classroom as well as in the hostel or when they want to study. So maintaining good concentration because brain receives more than 15,000 information every second. So while studying, while listening to a lecture in the classroom, the student has to focus, tell the mind, oh mind, please don't think about other things. I am sitting in the classroom, listening to the lecture, I am studying, let me understand what I study. So please study with concentration and the meaning of what you learn. Then recording take place in the brain by writing, repetition, and discussion. So please include these activities. You can't dispense pen and paper because now digital modern gadgets. So many people stop writing and no, they don't use pen and paper to learn. So pen and paper are equally important because whatever you listen, whatever you read, please write. Write the bullet points. When you write, the points are recorded in the brain in the cells. Then you have to keep repeating because information obtained will not get recorded in the brain unless we repeat it once or twice or thrice or sometimes four times. We have to repeat what we read, what we listen, and then discussion. So students should make small groups, 2 to 3 or 3 to 4 people join together and discuss the academic issues and subjects they are learning and also how to write the answers in the examination. So unless you do writing, unless you repeat the information, unless you discuss, memory becomes very poor. We don't have any medicine to improve the memory. Then recall practice, immediate recall and delayed recall, because memory gets erased over a period of time. Some stay for a day or two, some information stay for a week, and later they get erased in the brain. So unless you keep recalling the information, both immediate recall as well as delayed recall, then your memory will be less. And all our examinations depend on memory. Good memory, good scoring, good doing in the examination. Poor memory, bad scoring, and bad performance in examination. So the student should know that memory and learning take place in three stages: the registration, the recording, and the recall. If you do systematically study following these three steps, then whether your IQ is low, whether your IQ is more, then your learning and memory is better. Next slide, please. Next slide. Then this is the most important for all professionals. Whether you are going to become an engineer, whether you are going to become a doctor, whether you are going to become a architect, whether you are going to become a take any profession. So during study time, we get information. Now through Google, we get information. The four aspects: the analysis, the application, the problem solving, and decision making. So every day, every student has to learn to analyze the information gathered. Because textbooks give you information, Google gives you information, teachers gives you information. Then you have to analyze, then learn how to apply the knowledge and how to do the problem solving, what are the solutions available, which is the best, and decision making. Both decision making at the person level, your own life, where to apply for job, which job to accept, how to live, what to eat, how to lead the day-to-day living activities. So these four important aspects come under thinking, the critical thinking and the creative thinking. Many students become like parrots. They just repeat the textbook statements and they don't know the inner meaning of what they are talking. So the teacher's role is to encourage students to critically think and think in a creative manner so that in the competition a creative person and a critically evaluating person excels himself than other person who becomes a just like a parrot. Next slide, please. Then emotions. All of us know that adolescent boys and girls are emotionally very, very, very sensitive, and uh, and unfortunately, over a period of time, negative emotions are increasing all over the world, in all age groups, in all class groups. We become sad, we start hating people, we start having anxieties and fears, angers, and feel inferior. And post-COVID period, again all over the world, all age groups, negative emotions have increased because of COVID infection. Then job opportunities are less, and you lose a job, and then there is no emotional attachment now in the families, and the expectations of adolescent boys and girls very high, and then they fail to achieve what they want to achieve. So, sizable number of students do have negative emotions, being sad. They start hating their parents, hating their teachers, hating the society. Then there are a lot of anxiety and fear. So all of us have to develop positive emotions, learn how to be happy with what we get, what we achieve, then show a lot of love and affection towards the classmates, age mates, teachers, parents, because love and affection is like a tonic to the mind. If you don't get love and affection, then we become very, very disturbed. Then we have to be bold because highly challenging, highly competitive world, and many difficulties we have to face. Unless we are bold, we will not be able to face any life situation, especially negative life situation. And tolerance. Again, students are less tolerant. They get excited very easily, and then they take hasty decisions and get into problems. So, in this way, the emotional growth, the positive emotions have to be increased, and negative emotions have to be decreased. And that's why we say in every college there should be mentors as well as counselors. Every teacher should become a mentor, every teacher should become a counselor, and identify those students who have negative emotions and then help them to sort it out. Otherwise, they remain sad, they remain angry, they remain fearful, and they will not be able to use their intellectual capacity. Next slide, please. Next slide. Then, some more information about our emotions. Emotions are generated in the limbic system, which is inside the brain and modified by and controlled by frontal lobe. The pink portion of the picture brain is the frontal lobe, which is highly evolved in man, and frontal lobe is the one which understand the ethics, understand the norms, understand the values, and then learns to control especially negative emotions. When we get angry, should we shout, scream, or go and hit that person, or pardon him and then find out why he is talking like that, criticizing me in this fashion? So, all of us have to learn how to modify our emotions and control our emotions and control the expression of emotions which is required during adolescent period. Let's say in our Samadhana center or any counseling center, we see a lot of people coming with negative emotions and telling us, "Sir, I can't control my anger. Sir, I am so sad. I feel like weeping. I feel like committing suicide." So we have to train our brain to control the emotions. And what are the next slide? Yes, next slide. Next slide. So one is self-introspection every day. No, no. Go to the previous slide. Yeah. Self-introspection every day when you get up in the morning, throughout the day, do an introspection, find out whether you have positive emotions in you or negative emotions. Whether positive emotions or negative emotions, please share with someone you like. Don't try to hide because we try to share the positive emotions, but we try to suppress the negative emotions. Please don't do that. It applies to adults, applies to middle-aged people. Every one of us should have somebody to share our emotional experiences and how to have controlled expression and do not suppress emotions. If you suppress emotion, our mind becomes like a volcano. It just bursts in situations. And we have to use all artistic activities, listen to music. Now we talk about music therapy everywhere. For a diabetic, for a person who is undergoing surgical intervention, a lady who is delivering a child, the music is very uh, helpful because music reduces the anxiety, reduces the tension, and brings in harmony and melody into our life. Then use dance, painting, dramatics, and other artistic activities. So again, in every college, every student should be encouraged to develop interest in some hobbies. in the area of music, dance, painting, dramatics, and traveling and so on, so that we can control our emotions and reduce the ill effect of negative emotions on the body. Next slide. Next slide. The social growth. Adolescent boys and girls enjoy their age mates interaction, but during this period, they have to accept their role responsibility in the family, in the society, how to live in harmony in the college or later in the workplace, and how to give cooperation to others and not to confront people and adjust and accept the differences. Very, very important skill all of us have to develop how to adjust to others, our own colleagues, our own age mates, our own family members, and adequate good social interaction. For good social interaction, both body language and the language you use to communicate your wants or your views, so you should not be harsh. The language you choose to talk and the way you talk becomes very important to improve your social interactions and social skills. Next slide, please. Next slide. Then ethical growth, very, very important. What is good and why it is good, what is bad, why it is bad, the right and wrong, the legal and illegal issues. So many youngsters do not bother to follow the norms. They break the norms. They ride a two-wheeler without a helmet. They jump the signal. Or the norms of the college, they break because they enjoy breaking. And then they are worried about justice and injustice, how much self care, how much others care, and value system. We have to develop our own value system, personal as well as so we have to honor the social value system. Again, during this period, the teachers have a very big role to play in making the students to understand the ethical issues, which are very, very important for a person to live in harmony with others as well as live meaningfully in the society. Otherwise, what we are seeing, what our leaders, what our celebrates, many of them do not follow any ethical norms. They try to earn money through hook or by crook, or they cheat people, and many youngsters get frustrated looking at the behavior of the celebrates or the political leaders and various so-called models in the society. So the students should be encouraged to have clear understanding about what is good, what is bad, what is right and wrong. Next slide, please. Then finally, the all youngsters have to settle down once they pass the age of 25. Now, till 25, you learn, improve your career, improve your knowledge. Then after 25, you have to take up the family life, get married and settle down. Then you should take care of our needs, the food needs, the shelter needs, the sexual needs, the safety needs, recognition needs, and social needs. So these are the needs of every person: the food, the shelter, the sex, and the safety, recognition from peer group, and the social status. Then accept and adapt to reality is the most important character of a successful individual. If you accept and adapt to reality of society, reality of life, you will succeed. Otherwise, if you can't accept and adapt to reality, Darwin's theory, where we perish. Live in harmony with family and society and select and achieve goals. Because youngsters always should have goals to achieve, otherwise, life becomes very mechanical and meaningless. And the goal of life is to remain happy throughout our life and to remain healthy throughout our life. Next slide. The healthy person. Then there are certain issues in adolescence, the academic issues like manage how to manage examination, semester system. One examination complete within a couple of months, another examination starts. So, how to manage examination, how to get more marks, then getting more marks become very important in the competitive world, and then adolescents have issues regarding their autonomy versus dependence. Now, the complaint of the parents, complaint of teachers is all students are they want total freedom and autonomy. They decide what to eat, they decide what to dress, they decide what to do, whether to attend the class or not, or all activities they want total autonomy. Whereas parents on one side and teachers on the other side, they try to control them, and there is a clash between the youngsters on one side and the elderly people on the other side. So I have to tell the students that autonomy with accountability. You can't have autonomy without accountability and responsibility. And again, dependency is still students are dependent on parents for financial support, still depend on the society for other needs, and we have to work it out. Next slide, please. Then disappointments and frustration is very, very common. So now we say about 20% of adolescent boys and girls go into depression, and they have death wish, and they have suicidal ideas. Every now and then we see students committing suicide. Last year NEET examination, 9 students in Chennai committed suicide. They just attended the examination and thought their performance was poor, and they committed suicide. And last week, one student, 10th standard student, jumped from a building and committed suicide because he wasn't happy with his performance. And so suicides are increasing between 15 to 25 years because of frustration and because of depression. And people do not identify depression and then seek help. Only when a person commits suicide, then they start wondering what was bothering him, what was bothering. Look at what happened to ex-Chief Minister's granddaughter. She was a doctor by herself. Husband was a doctor. She had 9 months old child, but she committed suicide because of depression. Being doctors, they didn't identify depression and treat depression, and we lost her. So it is the requirement in any college to identify students or even staff who are depressed for various reasons, because depression finally leads to death wish and suicidal ideas. So talk to the person who is depressed, find out why he is depressed, and what type of help he needs, increases self-esteem, self-confidence, and needs lot of emotional support in managing the issues which he is facing. Next slide, please. Then old and traditional beliefs and lifestyle. So the lifestyle of present youngsters is totally different compared to what it was 30 years ago, 50 years ago. The grandparents and the parents keep complaining about the lifestyle of present day students because they don't follow traditional lifestyles. They are very, very modern in their outlook, whether it's food, whether it's clothing, whether it is activities, or following norms of the family. So always conflict should be there in students regarding whether to follow new way of lifestyle or follow certain traditions which are equally good required. So such conflicts have to be sorted out by discussion and by counseling. Next slide. Then the low self-esteem and loneliness. Again, youngsters all over the world are reported to feel lonely, or they have low self-esteem, inferiority feelings. They always compare themselves, their physical body, then intellectual capacity, or what they could achieve, then whether they get some prizes or awards and rewards or not. So Many students have low self-esteem, getting low marks, or not doing well in competition. And then, because of low self-esteem and loneliness, the emotions like anger, fear, sadness, and jealousy increase, and they are in trouble. Next slide, please. Then the another burning issue now among adolescent boys and girls is their sexual needs and urges. There are thousand and more channels easily available for anybody to have a look at the pornography or the blue films. And all the cinemas, TV shows directly, indirectly encourage the sexual needs of the viewers. So it is estimated that sizable number of boys and girls indulge in sexual activity, premarital sexual activity during their college days, and then they face a lot of challenges, breakup of relationship, or if they have physical contact, the infections, HIV infection, syphilis, and other uh, sexually transmitted diseases, and they're in trouble. So they need a lot of education, or they have a lot of misconceptions regarding masturbation, regarding their sexual attractions, and the various issues. So here in our country, no proper sex education is given to children and adolescents. And even adults, when they get married, they are as ignorant as others, and they have difficulty in leading a happy sexual life. Here, talking about sex is a taboo in our country. They don't go to a doctor and ask questions. They don't know whom to consult. Always they consult among each other, get lot of wrong misconceptions regarding the sexual issues and getting into difficulties. Issues like lesbianism. Yesterday, mother brought her daughter, 23, 24 is a daughter, and mother's complaint was, sir, my daughter is refusing to get married. She's settled life, she's earning, but refusing to get married. When I talked to her, she said, I am a lesbian. I don't have any interest in boys. And my mother and my father, though I told them, but they don't understand, and they say, you can change, get married soon. And the parents, both the parents are depressed because their only daughter, who is refusing to get married because she is a lesbian. Then security issues and insecurity feelings are very high in adolescent boys and girls, and the course and career and goals. So almost every student in the college needs career counseling. After BE, what next? Whether to go for a job, whether to go for higher education or additional training, and what is the goal? Because many people would like to go abroad and work there and earn in dollars. They don't want to stay in India, but they don't have the capacity. So the course, the career, and the goals, the teachers have to guide them depending upon the capacity of each student. The goal has to be fixed, and we have to help the students to reach their goals. Next slide, please. In expression, people are becoming very, very crude in their expression. When they want to protest, now we know how people take up a rally and start throwing stones and try to protest. They become violent. Or many students do not know how to express their views. They go to the principal and try to talk to the principal regarding their needs, but they fail to convince the principal about their needs. So, how to express your views, how to express your thoughts, how to protest without becoming violent, without hurting others. And even in families, many parents they complain, sir, my daughter and my son, they protest in a very crude manner. They use bad language, or they hit us, or they destroy things at home, becoming violent. So, how feelings and experience are to be expressed and communicated to the concerned is a skill. With whom, when, and how to communicate is an art. So, the art of communication, I think in every college there should be sessions. Invite a communicator and then ask the communicator to talk to the students to how to improve their communication, how, what language, what phrases, and body language, and so on. Next slide, please. The negative thoughts becoming very common. Many youngsters are becoming negativistic about self, about their family, about the society. They don't feel proud of themselves, they don't feel proud of their family, they don't feel proud of their society because they pick up or they see only the negative aspects of self and family and society and becoming very negativistic in their approach and suffer. Next slide. So, negative thoughts have to be converted into the positive thoughts. And the character. The character is very important. As teachers, we issue character certificate when students leave us, or the employer wants a character certificate from a gazetted officer or some VIP of the society. So, but are we encouraging students to develop good character, integrity, not to cheat people, not to use illegal methods to earn money or earn livelihood, and so on. Next slide, please. Then this is a important slide you see when there is a problem or when there is a need. Look at these two animals. One animal has to be assertive, has to be aggressive to get food and survive. The other animal has to be fast, escape, otherwise it becomes the food for the other animal and dies. So, fight or flight response. Many students do not know when to fight, how to fight, or when to escape, or when to use the flight response as a need to save themselves. So, escape or confronting from problems. Confronting the problems is an issue. Throughout our life, we have to keep on learning how much assertiveness, how much aggression, how much withdrawal, and adjust the needs. So, this is an issue. Next slide, please. So, I'll just go through another 5 minutes, the 14 slides. How to maintain our health, physical fitness, and mental fitness. One is the first one is food, the nutritional aspects and food discipline. So, 3 times a day minimum you have to take food, morning breakfast, because I have seen many students coming to college without breakfast. They soar up to 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and hypoglycemia. Or they overeat, irregular timings, and they can't digest what they take and have a lot of digestive symptoms. So, food intake should be regular and disciplined. Next slide, please. Next slide. So, regarding food is concerned, as I told you, we have to include lot of fruits and vegetables in our food because they give you all the micronutrients as well as increase our immunity. Increase our immunity. Again, thanks to COVID, because now people using your immunity very much and then try to increase their immunity to fight against virus or bacteria. Next slide. Then cut down all the next slide. The all the fried items which youngsters love to eat. All the restaurants make money preparing these items and sell. And so these items should be eaten in limited quantity. Next slide. And totally avoid the junk foods, because junk foods are poisonous. They have a lot of chemicals, harmful chemicals added on to increase the taste. Next slide. Then the sleep pattern. Again, very, very disturbing to see youngsters going to bed at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock early morning and get up at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Irregular timings, they don't maintain the sleep hygiene. So, fixed time, sleep in time and sleep out time. Then the discipline regarding how you keep your things in an order so that you don't waste time searching for things, and good aesthetic view of your room or your house make you to relax, and keep a diary and follow a timetable. Next slide, please. Then show lowered affection without any restrictions. So love and affection is very much needed for every person, especially adults and boys and girls. And then they should maintain good working relationship with everybody. Next slide. Then more appreciation and less criticism. Again, this applies to both students and staff, because many staff try to criticize the students for their mistakes and they don't appreciate. And students in turn do the same thing. So more appreciation makes you happy, and less criticism. When you have to criticize, point out a mistake, do it in a subtle manner so that the person doesn't take it as an insult. Otherwise, any criticism from the teachers, students resent and they start hating the teachers. Similarly, hating the parents who will criticize. Next slide. The fifth solution is next one. Next slide, please. Next slide. Yeah. Then the job satisfaction. So once you once you take up a job, even teachers have interact with many teachers. They're not happy with their job. They grumble. They say pay is less or status is less or they don't enjoy the system. They don't like the management. So job satisfaction is very important. We all of us work for money. At the same time, love the job you choose. Otherwise, no, youngsters keep changing their jobs every 3 months, every 6 months. They don't stay in one place and have a lot of difficulties. Next slide. Next slide, please. Then money management. Money management. Go to previous slide. Money management is very important because now credit cards, taking loans, and many youngsters have difficulties. They spend more, use credit card indiscriminately, or spend money for luxuries, and they want money for genuine reasons. They don't have money. So money management had to be learned, and income and expenditure should be balanced. Next one. Next slide, please. Then, how to be happy? Because we want recognition, we want awards and rewards, and so work well, then somebody will recognize you. Don't become dissatisfied because you didn't get any award and reward. Otherwise, people get frustrated. Even when Padma Shri was announced, two, three people refused to accept the award, telling that you should have given to me 10 years ago. Now I am 90. I don't need your uh, award. So this type of need to be awarded, rewarded is a human need, and one should be careful regarding how much awards and rewards we need from others. And the society should be liberal enough to give awards to the deserving candidates, not to give awards to undeserving candidates. Next one, ninth solution. Next slide, please. Then positive thinking. Lord Buddha 2,500 years ago, he made one statement: you become what you think. If you have positive thinking, you become a positive person, positive experience. If you have negative thinking, then you will have a lot of negative events taking place and you lose your self confidence. So think positively and be hopeful. Even in the worst situation, any one of us should not lose hopes and keep working to reach our goals or to achieve what we want to achieve. So positive thinking is very much needed for youngsters. Next slide. Then improve your knowledge by reading, by traveling, by listening to experienced people, or already you have achieved a lot. So every college should invite people who have succeeded in life to come and share their experience with youngsters because they become the role models for the new graduates or new students. Next slide. Then that's why keep traveling a lot, keep meeting people, have discussion with experienced people to improve our knowledge. Next one. Then this is another important thing all of us have to do an introspection. Every day or at every stage of life, we have to introspect ourselves. Whether what are my assets, what are my liabilities. Otherwise, many people underestimate their capacities, and some people do overestimation of their capacities, and you get into problem. What I can do, what I cannot do, how much I can compete, how much I cannot compete and accept uh, my person as it is. So, self introspection, looking into our own physical strength, mental strength, and social strength. Next slide. Then stop worry because fire and worry. Fire burns the dead body, worry burns the living person. As a psychiatrist, I see lots of people keep worrying about the past, keep worrying about the future, keep worrying about the mistakes done by them, and getting into a lot of health problems. Next slide. So avoid worrying and act. That's why Saint Purundara says, why do you worry, O monkey mind? Who was worried at the time of birth? Who would worry at the end of life? Why to worry about life? Everyone will get some food and cloth and shelter and pray God and be happy. So this is what many saints and wise people tell people not to worry, but to leave it to the Almighty to help you. Next slide. Then the good habits, I think we should, all of us should pursue hobbies, spend an hour every day learning something or relaxing through these various artistic activities, dance, dramatics, music, and books. Next slide. The last one. The traveling is another important relaxing activity. It improves your knowledge, improves your vision, and the religious and spiritual activities, simple ones, not complicated or unscientific ones. Next slide. The goal. So we have to fix the goal, short-term goal, long-term goal, and life goal. Because without goal, the life becomes very, very boring and meaningless. So every person has to keep revising the goals depending on resources and then try to achieve the goals. And the last slide is how to be healthy. Move to the last one. Last slide, the health. So health cannot be purchased. Health cannot be given by a doctor. When people come to us with health problems, we treat and try to improve their health, but health has to be earned by every individual by his lifestyle. The four, the four legs of health is: one is good food, second one is exercise, third one is pleasant mind, and fourth one is cleanliness. So every one of us throughout our life has to lead a lifestyle in such a way that we remain healthy, we avoid getting infected, we avoid getting illness like diabetes, hypertension, and so on. Otherwise, all these 80% of the illnesses are due to bad lifestyle or unhealthy lifestyle. So this we have to inculcate in the minds of youngsters that they should lead a life in such a way that they need not go to a hospital, they need not take medicines, they remain healthy throughout life. So with this, I will close my presentation. And so, any questions, please ask or put up in the chat box. I will try to answer. I wish every student, every staff to have good health, physically fit, mentally fit, and socially fit, so that we live happily in this society and we achieve something in our life, compete with others, and get status in the society. Thanks. Thanks a lot. So, so low self-esteem. There's one question, sir. One question: how to deal with low self-esteem? We feel we have low self-esteem because either others comment on us, "You are a useless fellow. You haven't done anything. You are a waste body." Then I develop low self-esteem. Or my own perception. Oh, I'm not good looking. I'm dark in color. I am a sick person, or my intellectual level is very low, or I failed once in final examination, or I loved a girl, I couldn't get married to her. So this type of negative look, negative attitude towards self, or negative comments from others, and various failures make us to develop low self-esteem. That's why one has to think that look at our assets, what I have done, how much I have got, and accept the body as it is, accept my status as it is. Because in our culture, in our country, if you're born in a low caste, throughout life you are made to feel inferior because you are a low caste person or low class person. So society contributes, individual contributes, others contribute. We have to get over this and develop a positive attitude towards ourselves, self introspection, look at my assets, look at my drawbacks, how to improve my uh, lacunae or weaknesses, and feel always good because you are the creation of nature. Next.
So, Rushikesh, question is, what is the psychology of positive communication? What is the psychology of positive communication?
See, communication is you have to give information, or you have to talk about your views and your opinion. So, how to do it? So, whenever you talk, talk meaningfully, talk briefly, and to the point. And also see that the person who is listening should understand what you communicate. Because if you communicate using very flowery language or very difficult words, other person may not be able to understand. And similarly, while communicating, have a smile on your face, and then your presentation should be very pleasant to the audience. So in communication is a skill. One is your linguistic ability, your knowledge, and how you communicate your knowledge in an understandable manner so that the audience, depending upon their understanding capacity, they should listen to you with interest. So all these issues are involved in communication. So the communicator and the person who communicates should have full knowledge of what is communicating, and then how to convince the person, how to persuade the audience to accept his views. So there is a lot of psychological issues in communication, and it has to be learnt. It has to be learnt. Yes.
Thank you, sir. The next question is from Jitendra Prabhu, and
How
his
can I
question is,
how can
and
I
his
change
question,
my lifestyle?
yes, yes, sir, yes, sir.
Yeah. So change is in your hands. So lifestyle, you want to change your food habits, then change your food habits. What you're eating, what is good, what is bad, look into that. Similarly, how you spend your time from morning 6 o'clock to evening 10 o'clock. How much time you should spend in recreation? How much time you should spend in social activities? How much time you should do the homework? So lifestyle includes starting from food, your clothing, your recreation, and your social interaction, and where do you live, how you keep your house clean and tidy. So everything comes under lifestyle. So find out what are the drawbacks in your lifestyle. What is a unhealthy habit you have developed, an unhealthy way of doing things? Please do an introspection as well as ask others, so that identify the lacunae, identify the difficulties, and make up your mind to change. Unless you make up your mind to change, lifestyle cannot be changed. For example, a person starts recreating by taking alcohol, or by smoking, or by gambling. Okay, he enjoys, but is it a healthy lifestyle? So similarly, by criticizing others, by pointing out the mistakes done by my wife or my children, if I start enjoying, then my relationship get disturbed. So I should cut down my criticism, as I should increase my appreciation. So every activity which we do from morning till night becomes lifestyle, and so bring a change in lifestyle by planning and by determination, commitment. Yes.
Thank you, sir. Autonomy with accountability. Talk, help, and emotional balance is what you dealt with at large. Sir, I would like to thank our master trainer, Dr. CRC, for being present here and guiding our students through. I would also like to thank our principal, College of Engineering and Technology, Dr. TK Satish, for encouraging us to go ahead with this program. I'd like to thank all the principals of the College of East Point Group of Institutions, head of the institutions, head of the departments, faculty members, and students. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, students. Thank you, sir. Thank you.